Hello and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen. Today I'm going to catch up with Melbourne Uni's protesting and the celebrity protester Dana Alshaer.
This morning, Melbourne University announced those activists who have been here for days are now considered trespassing and could be liable for police intervention. At the moment, we haven't seen any police present at the university just yet, but staff and students say they're preparing for activity and will link arms to block officers going in. But today's development comes after more than 150 classes were cancelled last week. The pro-Palestine activists have been camping out in the Arts West building since late last week because they want the university to cut ties with Israeli companies.
Okay, well, while I wait for that to kick off, I might look back a few days.
Palestinian student Dana Alshaer is at the University of Melbourne. She joins us now from outside the sit-in, where protesters are currently rallying. Dana, what's the feeling like there tonight?
Yes, I'm not a part of the sit-in. I'm part of the encampment that is held on South Lawn and organized by UniMel for Palestine. The sit-in has been organized by a group of independent students who took it upon themselves after the Nakba rally to collectively and spontaneously sit in Mahmoud's Hall, previously known as Arts West. The current feelings in the building are absolutely positive. The students are confident that this sit-in will bring some change when it comes to the universities addressing our demands of divestment and disclosure from weapon manufacturers.
The university have threatened police action. Do you think they'll follow through?
Well, unfortunately, according to credible sources that we have only learned about a few minutes ago, we think that there's a big possibility that the university is coordinating with the police to crack down on the students who are sitting inside Mahmoud's Hall. So we are not sure, we cannot be fully confident, but we have very strong reasoning to believe that they will call the police.
Dana, students also have a right to the education that they've paid, that's thousands of dollars for. Does the university have a right to draw a line when it starts affecting students' education?
I think there has been a lot of miscommunication when it comes on the university side. The university self-imposed the cancellation of classes. The students sitting inside Mahmoud's Hall, as they have communicated to us, have not demanded the cancellation of any classes, have not obstructed any doors or blockaded any buildings. So all of these measures are self-imposed by the university, not the students.
What if instead of this protest it was, say, a pro-Israeli protest and you had a class in that building? Do you think you would feel perfectly comfortable walking into that building, just walking into class as though it were any other day, or do you think you'd find it difficult to access your education in those circumstances?
Everyone here has a right to protest. All students from all different backgrounds, from all different nationalities, ethnicities, and ideologies have a right to protest, and we support that. As Palestinian and pro-Palestinian protesters, we have not whatsoever threatened anyone or violated anything. So as far as I'm concerned, this hypothesis of a question is not really relatable to what's happening. But at the same time, while we were at the encampment, we have been at the receiving end of multiple attempts by students here from Melbourne University who either identify as pro-Israeli or Zionist or pro-Zionist. They harassed us. They went inside our encampment. They followed some students. They said some things that made us as Palestinians and pro-Palestinian students feel completely unsafe. But none of these things have been addressed by the university.
So, Dana, there's no end date for you?
The students are steadfast on remaining where they are, remaining resilient in having the university answer and address the demands, which is divestment and disclosure from weapon manufacturers. Fighting against genocide should not be controversial. It shouldn't even be a discussion. The morals and ethics of that should be clear, but apparently Melbourne University does not have a clear moral compass to guide them through their partnerships and their funds and their investments.
Dana, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So a few days before that, on the 16th, in Sydney, criminal lawyers. Student camps are anti-genocide, not anti-Semitic, says UniMel for Palestine Dana Alshaer. It's her with the megaphone. UniMel for Palestine organiser Dana Alshaer is a key member of the Free Palestine movement in Narra, Melbourne. Hailing from the occupied West Bank, The Palestinian woman helped broach the unofficial prohibition against speaking out against the genocide early on. And in the footage of Dana approaching the Vice Chancellor, we'll have a look at that later. The University of Melbourne protest camp was attacked by a group on the night of the 12th of May. Dana, what happened at the University of Melbourne Gaza Solidarity Camp on Sunday evening? First of all, we don't know if this attack was pro-Israeli, as they didn't identify themselves as Zionists, but they did shout F Palestine, F you, and go back to Iraq, these kind of things, so it was definitely politically motivated. However, we don't know how these individuals identified. The attack was surprising and intense. They opened 2 fire extinguishers. The first incident saw the fire extinguisher opened while they shouted at campers, and the second time saw them open another fire extinguisher and attack someone or some of our members with an unknown substance, some kind of liquid, and they threw a chair and garbage at the students. Okay, we'll check out our footage that went viral.
Why does our university have a partnership with a weapon manufacturing company in the first place? Lockheed Martin. They're literally supplying weapons for an active genocide in Gaza right now. More than 50,000 people have been killed. What do you have to say about that?
I'm not going to talk to you about that. I'm not about
Why?
this.
Why? You should answer to students. Because like students today, you should answer to students. You're the vice
You
chancellor.
shouldn't tell me what to do, I don't think. But
Excuse me, but you're the vice chancellor.
Yeah.
So you should answer to students when they ask you something.
I'm not going to talk.
That is your role.
That's not actually. But,
Okay. Dana Alshaer is a Palestinian woman born and raised in the colonized, occupied West Bank and has seen with her own eyes what real-life settler colonialism and land theft look like. She's finishing her master's degree in international relations at the University of Melbourne and is an organising member of Uni Melb for Palestine Action Group, which has been challenging Melbourne University and their management over their complicity of the genocide and oppression of the Palestinian people and all oppressed people around the world through their weapons manufacturers during ties. So over to you, Dana.
Thank you, Annette. Before I start, I just want to acknowledge the traditional, rightful, and ongoing owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people. This land sovereignty has never been ceded. My name is Dana Alshaer in Arabic. In English, I could go with Alshaer. I am currently a student at Melbourne University. I'm finishing my master's degree doing international relations, and I am one of the founding members and organizers of a newly found action group for Palestine called UNIMEL for Palestine. This group came to exist as a response to the university's ongoing silence and complicity in the genocide in Gaza and the oppression of the Palestinian people across Palestine and oppression of all oppressed people around the world through their multiple weapons manufacturing ties and deals. So we've been working on campus as a UNIMEL for Palestine for the past 6 months, almost. But before that, I've been in Australia for 2 years. 2 years and 2 months now. I came here on a scholarship, so I am planning to go back home late July this year, to go back to Palestine. Since the very first semester that I had in the university, I've been advocating and basically being extremely involved in activism for Palestine alongside many other amazing individuals from students and staff and faculty at the University of Melbourne. we have passed a Palestine motion in AMSU's, which is the student union for Melbourne University. Um, we have passed a Palestine motion calling on the university to endorse the boycott divestment movement and recognize Palestinians' right to self-determination and Palestinians' right to live freely and end the occupation. Unfortunately, we have faced a lawsuit from a Zionist student and several Zionist organizations. And unfortunately, the student union had to settle for many reasons, including the fact that this lawsuit is going on for 2 years, and the possibility of us going to the Supreme Court in Australia was extremely high. And although we know that if you look at the facts, if you look at everything, we should win this lawsuit as a part of our freedom of speech as students and as student union. And this should be given. However, we also realize that the Australian system is also built on settler colonialism and embodies within it the notions of settler colonialism and oppression of Indigenous peoples and First Nations peoples. So we know that it was extremely risky for us to go to the Supreme Court, which will most likely side with the Zionist students and Zionist institutions over Palestinians' right to free speech on campuses. So I know like there's a lot of talks about student activism on campuses and about several manifestations of how Australian universities are complicit in the ongoing oppression of Palestinians in Gaza and across Palestine. And I think it's a bit surprising for a lot of people to understand the gravity of the complicity of these educational institutions. And some people think that simply because you're not directly holding the weapon, the gun against oppressed people, then this means that you're not complicit in their oppression, which is not true. For example, taking Melbourne University as an example, complicity manifests in so many different forms. One of them is silence, utter silence, that shows the racism of the Australian educational system in general and Australian universities. Institutions that are supposed to uphold the values of freedom of speech, the values of human rights, the respect for international laws and humanitarian laws. It genuinely all crumbled down in the past 6 months publicly. Melbourne University has been fully silent on the systematic annihilation of the Palestinian educational system in Gaza, the systematic targeting of Palestinian academics and school students and university students and vice chancellors, the systematic destruction of every single university in Gaza and more than 75% of schools in Gaza. But not only that, we're learning day after day that our university's complicity and many other universities in Australia, it's not just Melbourne, it's almost every single university here, goes much beyond simple, being silent or neutral or just like not taking a stance. They are actively involved in the supply chain of the genocide. For example, Melbourne University has partnerships with 16 different weapons manufacturing companies, including the world's largest weapons manufacturer, Lockheed Martin. They also have partnerships with Boeing, partnerships and ties. These partnerships and ties comes at looking like different forms, research funds, grants, partnerships, building infrastructure and buildings and labs for these companies. So Lockheed Martin, Boeing, BAE System, these are the 3 largest weapons manufacturers in the world, besides having a direct contact or direct partnership with Rosebank Engineering, which is an Australian company that produces components for the F-35 fighter jets, which is the most lethal fighter jet to have ever been produced in history of mankind. And
Oh, not sure if that's the most. Anyway, I'll check. Anyway, that was interesting. Thank you, Dana. See you later. Bye.